welcome to today's deep dive.
Yeah.
We're going beyond the usual Ibn Sina stuff.
Okay.
Not like the textbook version.
Mm-hmm.
You probably know him as like Avicenna, the famous physician and philosopher.
Right.
But we're going to uncover the untold stories.
Okay.
I think you'll be surprised.
Oh, I'm sure.
We're talking fleeing political drama, treating powerful rulers, maybe even a few book-burning accidents.
Oh, my goodness.
I know, right?
Wow.
So get ready.
Okay.
We're going to see Ibn Sina not just as a genius, but as a real person navigating a complex world.
What's always captivated me about Ibn Sina is that his life wasn't just about books and theories.
Yeah.
You know, it was a dangerous time.
Right.
He faced some real danger.
Yeah.
And yet, amidst all that, he still managed to make incredible advancements in science and philosophy.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to explore.
Okay.
Like, how did real-world challenges shape his work? And how did his intellectual pursuits help him navigate those challenges? It's a fascinating, like, two sides of the same coin kind of thing.
Absolutely.
So let's start with that volatile world you mentioned.
Okay.
Ibn Sina spent a significant part of his life on the run, right?
He did. Imagine trying to write, like, a groundbreaking medical text.
Wow.
While constantly moving from city to city, sometimes even facing imprisonment.
Yeah.
Sections of the canon of medicine were actually written during this tumultuous time.
That's incredible.
It is.
Like his most famous work.
Arguably.
It makes you wonder, did this constant upheaval force him to condense his knowledge?
Right.
Do you think he prioritized information that was, easily transportable?
Yeah.
Maybe focusing on practical remedies instead of lengthy theoretical discussions?
It's fascinating to think about that. It's possible that his circumstances pushed him to create a concise, practical guide for physicians.
Yeah.
Something that could be easily carried and consulted on the move.
I can picture him, with his manuscripts like tucked away.
Yeah.
Ready to flee at a moment's notice.
Yeah. Right.
Wow. It really speaks to his dedication to preserving and sharing knowledge. Like for him, it wasn't just an intellectual pursuit.
Right.
It was something he was driven to protect and pass on, even in the face of danger.
This dedication really shines through in one of the most dramatic events in his life.
Okay.
The healing of a prince.
Oh, wow.
The ruler of Hamadan prince, Shams al-Dawla, was suffering from this mysterious illness that baffled everyone.
So no one could figure it out.
Nope.
And so Ibn Sina was his last hope.
Absolutely.
That is where the pressure is on.
Yeah. His reputation was on the line.
Totally.
High stakes, a desperate ruler.
Yeah.
You can feel the pressure.
I know.
And what's striking is his approach.
Okay.
He didn't just rely on traditional remedies.
Right.
He combined physical therapy, herbal medicines, and a deep understanding of the body's systems.
So like a holistic approach?
Very much so, even for today's standards.
Wow. And it worked.
It did. He cures the prince and solidifies his status as a top physician.
Wow. And that success led to him being appointed as the prince's vizier.
That's right. You're right.
Right.
It was a position of significant power.
Yeah.
The vizier was like a chief advisor.
Wow.
Responsible for everything.
Oh my goodness.
From political strategy to economic matters.
Really?
It's amazing the amount of trust the prince placed in Ibn Sina.
Wow.
His intellect and judgment.
Yeah. So here he is.
Yeah.
A brilliant physician, escaped political turmoil,
Right.
healed a powerful ruler,
Yeah.
and now thrust into the heart of political life.
It's incredible.
It's a story that just keeps getting more and more interesting.
Absolutely.
And throughout all this, he's still finding time
Yeah.
for his writing and research. Did this guy ever take a break?
Well, he was known to be a night owl.
Okay.
Often working late into the night, fueled by his passion for learning.
So he just had that drive.
He did. There's even a story about him accidentally setting some of his papers on fire.
Wait.
Because he was so engrossed in his work.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Even geniuses have their clumsy moments, huh?
I guess so.
It's a good reminder that behind all those incredible achievements, he was still human.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, did he ever sleep
Right.
all those late nights with his books and research?
It does paint a picture of someone completely absorbed in his pursuit of knowledge.
Yeah.
But beyond just the dedication, I think this story reveals something about his approach to learning.
Okay.
It wasn't just passively absorbing information.
Right.
He was actively engaging with it, sometimes to the point of forgetting his surroundings.
That is something I can relate to.
Oh, yeah.
Getting so lost in a topic
Right.
that the rest of the world fades away.
I know that feeling.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
It's a feeling that any lifelong learner knows.
Absolutely.
And speaking of getting lost in knowledge,
Okay.
let's talk about a slightly less conventional area of Ibn Sina's expertise, alchemy.
Right. Alchemy was this fascinating pursuit for many scholars during Ibn Sina's time.
Okay.
It wasn't just about turning lead into gold,
Right.
though that was certainly a popular idea.
Yeah, of course.
But it was also about understanding the properties of substances
Yep.
and how they interact,
Mm-hmm.
almost like a precursor to modern chemistry.
So was Ibn Sina a believer in that mythical philosopher's stone?
Right.
Or did he approach alchemy with a more scientific mindset?
He was actually quite skeptical of the more fantastical elements of alchemy,
Yeah.
like the idea of creating an elixir of immortality.
Right.
Instead, he focused on the practical study of substances, their properties, and their potential uses.
Okay.
It was a very grounded approach for his time.
So less magic, more observation and experimentation.
Exactly.
It sounds like he was laying the foundation for the scientific method
Yeah.
centuries before it became widely accepted.
Exactly. His work in alchemy, with its emphasis on observation and analysis,
Yeah.
was way ahead of its time.
Wow. It really foreshadowed the development of modern chemistry.
That's a theme we see throughout his life, isn't it?
Yeah.
This drive to question, to push boundaries, to seek knowledge beyond the accepted norms.
Absolutely.
It makes you wonder, where did this insatiable curiosity come from?
That is the question.
Yeah.
And one that might be best explored through his philosophical work.
Okay.
Remember, Ibn Sina wasn't just a physician and scientist.
Right.
He was deeply engaged in the world of philosophy, grappling with big questions about existence knowledge and the nature of reality.
Right. And that's a side of Ibn Sina that we often overlook.
We do.
He wrote extensively on these topics, didn't he?
Oh, he did.
Eh.
His most famous philosophical work
Okay.
is the Book of Healing.
Okay.
It's a massive philosophical encyclopedia
Wow.
covering everything
Like what?
from logic and physics to metaphysics and spirituality.
Okay.
And despite the name, it's not a medical text.
Talk about a multitasker.
I know.
So what were some of his key ideas?
What made his philosophy stand out from other thinkers of his time?
One of his most compelling ideas
Yeah.
is that the soul and the body
Yeah.
are distinct entities.
Interesting.
He believed that the soul was immortal,
Okay.
continuing to exist even after the body perished.
Wow.
This idea had a profound impact on philosophical and theological discussions for centuries to come.
It's a concept that still resonates today.
It does.
This idea that there's a part of us that transcends the physical realm. Was this a radical idea for his time?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It challenged the prevailing thought at the time. Ibn Sina's ideas sparked debate and discussion,
Wow.
forcing people to reconsider their understanding of the soul
Okay.
and its relationship to the physical body.
It speaks to his willingness to question,
Right.
to explore ideas that might have seemed unorthodox. And his exploration of the soul wasn't his only philosophical contribution.
Right.
He also delved deeply into the concept of God.
Yeah.
Right?
You're right. He argued that God is not just a creator,
Okay.
but a necessary being, the source of all existence.
Okay.
He believed that God's existence wasn't dependent on anything else. It was self-sufficient and eternal, the very foundation upon which everything else rests.
Necessary being.
Yeah,
That's a concept that might require a bit of unpacking.
it is.
It's pretty heady stuff.
Right.
Could you explain it in a way that makes sense
Sure.
to those of us who aren't seasoned philosophers?
Think of it this way.
Okay.
Imagine a chain of dominoes. Each domino falls because the one before it knocked it over.
Okay.
But what knocked over the first domino?
Right.
There has to be something that started the chain reaction.
Yeah.
Something that exists independently of the other dominoes.
Okay.
That's kind of like what Ibn Sina meant by necessary being.
I see.
Something that exists in and of itself, not because something else caused it to exist.
Okay, that's a helpful analogy. It makes me think of the question, what came before the Big Bang?
Right.
It's a question that points to the need for a starting point, a source, something that exists outside the chain of cause and effect.
Exactly. And that's what Ibn Sina was wrestling with.
Okay.
He wasn't just proposing these ideas.
Right.
He was offering logical arguments to support them. One of his most famous is what's known as the proof of the truthful.
Wow.
It's a complex argument that essentially states that a perfect, necessary being must exist
Right.
in order for anything else to exist.
So he wasn't just saying, this is what I believe.
Right.
He was providing a framework,
Yes.
a logical path to understanding these concepts.
Exactly.
It's fascinating how he combined his scientific mind with his philosophical explorations.
Yeah.
It's almost like he was looking for a unified understanding of the world,
Right.
bridging the gap between the physical and the metaphysical.
And that's what makes his work so compelling even today. He wasn't content to explore just one aspect of reality. He wanted to understand the whole picture, the how and the why,
Yeah.
the seen and the unseen.
And this brings us to an important point.
Okay.
His philosophical ideas weren't just abstract theories.
Right.
They had real-world implications, shaping his approach to everything,
Yeah.
from medicine to politics.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Okay.
How did his philosophy actually play out in his life,
Okay.
in his actions?
Right.
Give us a concrete example.
Well, consider his role as a physician. His belief in the immortality of the soul
Okay.
influenced his approach to healing.
Okay.
He didn't just focus on treating the physical body.
Right.
He also emphasized the importance of caring for the patient's spiritual well-being.
To the whole person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He saw the two as interconnected,
Right.
believing that true healing involved addressing both aspects of a person.
It's a holistic approach that we're seeing more and more of today. This recognition that our mental and spiritual health is just as important
Yes.
as our physical health.
Absolutely.
So it wasn't just about prescribing herbs and remedies.
Right.
It was about understanding the whole person.
Precisely. His philosophy informed his practice,
Yeah.
and vice versa.
Interesting.
It was a seamless integration of knowledge and action,
Okay.
a testament to his belief that true understanding is about more than just accumulating facts.
Yeah.
It's about applying those facts to real-world challenges,
Right.
to making a positive impact on the world.
So as we delve deeper into Ibn Sinna's life,
Okay.
we're seeing this incredible tapestry woven together. His experiences as a fugitive,
Right.
his role as a healer, and his explorations of the deepest philosophical questions.
Yeah.
It's almost like he lived multiple lives in one.
It is an incredible journey.
Yeah.
And while his scientific and philosophical contributions are certainly impressive,
Right.
there's another fascinating aspect of his life that we often overlook:
What's that?
his love of music.
Music. Now, this is something I wasn't expecting.
Really,
Tell me more.
Ibn Sina wasn't just a scientist and philosopher.
Yeah.
He was a polymath in the truest sense of the word. He had a wide range of interests, and music held a special place for him.
Interesting.
He believed that music had a profound impact on the soul,
Okay.
suggesting that certain melodies could even have healing properties.
Wow. Music as medicine. That's an idea that resonates even today.
It does.
We know that music can affect our moods, our emotions,
Yeah,
even our physical well-being.
exactly. And Ibn Sina was exploring these connections
Wow.
centuries ago.
Really?
He even wrote a treatise on music theory, discussing the mathematical ratios behind musical intervals
Okay.
and their impact on the listener.
Wow.
He saw music as a science,
Okay.
something to be studied and understood, just like the properties of substances
Right.
or the workings of the human body.
It's amazing how he approached everything with this incredible intellectual rigor.
It is.
He wasn't content to just experience music on an emotional level.
Right.
He wanted to understand the mechanics behind it, the underlying principles that gave it its power.
And this multifaceted approach to knowledge,
Right.
this willingness to explore seemingly disparate fields
Yeah.
with the same intensity and curiosity
Mhm.
is what makes Ibn Sina such an enduring figure.
Well, yeah.
He reminds us that knowledge isn't meant to be compartmentalized.
Right.
It's all connected.
Right.
And the more we explore those connections, the
Yeah.
richer our understanding of the world becomes.
So what can we learn
Oh,
from
God.
Ibn Sina's multifaceted approach?
I think Ibn Sina's life is a reminder that we shouldn't be afraid
Okay.
to delve into different fields,
Yeah.
to follow our curiosity wherever it leads.
Right.
We don't have to limit ourselves to one area of expertise.
Yeah.
Who knows what we might discover
Right.
when we start connecting the dots between seemingly disparate fields.
It's like opening ourselves up to a whole new world of possibilities.
It is.
A world where art and science, music and medicine can all inform and enrich each other.
Absolutely.
It's about embracing that intellectual curiosity,
Right.
that same spirit of exploration that drove Ibn Sina
Yeah.
throughout his life. But this brings up another question.
Okay.
How did Ibn Sina balance all of these varied pursuits?
Well, it is amazing how he balanced all of that.
I know, right?
His groundbreaking work in medicine and philosophy,
Yeah.
his love for music and alchemy.
Did he have like a 48-hour day?
Maybe.
Yeah.
While we haven't uncovered evidence of time travel yet,
Okay, good.
what we do see is his incredible ability to focus
Okay.
and dedicate himself fully to his pursuits.
So he was all in.
I remember he was known to be a night owl,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
often working late into the night.
Yeah.
It suggests a level of commitment and passion
Yeah.
that allowed him to make the most of his time.
So maybe it's less about time management
Right.
and more about intensity of focus.
Yeah,
It's like that saying, wherever you are, be all there.
I like that.
It seems like Ibn Sina truly embodied that.
Yeah.
Whether he was dissecting a medical text,
Right.
composing a philosophical treatise, or exploring the intricacies of music theory.
You've hit the nail on the head. Ibn Sina's life reminds us that it's not just about quantity of time.
Yeah,
It's about the quality of attention we bring to our pursuits.
that's a good point.
He was fully present in each endeavor,
Right.
allowing him to achieve remarkable results
Yeah.
across these diverse fields.
It's a powerful message for us today,
It is.
especially in a world filled with so many distractions.
Right.
Maybe the key to unlocking our own potential
Yeah.
lies in cultivating that same focus,
It could.
that same dedication to being fully present in each moment.
I think so.
But that brings up another thought.
Okay.
We've talked about Ibn Sina's achievements,
Mhm.
but what about the setbacks he faced?
Wow.
Did he ever experience failure?
Of course. He faced challenges.
Right, like what?
Well, remember, he lived in a time of political instability.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He was forced to flee his home.
Right.
He even spent time in prison.
Wow.
Those were incredibly difficult circumstances.
Yeah.
It's very likely that he experienced setbacks and disappointments along the way.
So how did he keep going?
Yeah.
What kept him motivated in the face of adversity?
That's where I think his intellectual curiosity
Uh-huh.
and his unwavering belief in the power of knowledge come into play.
So-
For Ibn Sina, learning wasn't just a means to an end.
Right.
It was a source of strength, a way to make sense of the world,
Okay.
and perhaps even a form of solace during difficult times.
It's like knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Not power in the sense of control over others,
Right.
but power over ourselves, over our circumstances,
Exactly.
by continuing to learn, to explore, to
Yeah.
push the boundaries of knowledge.
Right.
Ibn Sina was essentially empowering himself
Yeah.
to overcome whatever challenges he faced.
I think you're right. His life is a testament to the power of the human spirit
Yeah.
to find meaning and purpose, even in the midst of adversity.
So it's a message that resonates across centuries.
It does.
It reminds us that we too can find strength and resilience
Right.
in the pursuit of knowledge.
Absolutely.
As we wrap up our deep dive into the life of Ibn Sina,
Okay.
what's the one thing you hope our listeners will take away?
I think Ibn Sina's story teaches us that greatness isn't just about achievements or accolades.
Yeah.
It's about embracing curiosity,
Yeah.
cultivating focus, and persevering in the face of challenges.
Okay.
It's about recognizing the interconnectedness of knowledge and applying what we learn to make a positive impact on the world.
Beautifully said. Ibn Sina, the fugitive scholar, the prince's healer,
Right.
the night owl philosopher, and the music theorist,
All in one.
reminds us that a life well lived
Yeah.
is a life dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge, the betterment of humanity,
Absolutely.
and the unwavering belief in the power of the human spirit.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the life of Ibn Sina.
It was fascinating.
I hope you've been inspired by his extraordinary journey
I know I have.
and are now ready to embark on your own explorations.
Until next time, keep asking questions, keep learning, and keep diving deep.